Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. 2 men shot dead in Westmoreland bar. The police are probing a double murder in Egypt Gardens, Westmoreland, Saturday morning. The deceased have been identified as Demario Fenton and Henry Thompson. Reports are that both men were at a bar when they were shot. They were taken to hospital where they were pronounced dead. Clarendon student among 2 decomposing bodies found. 17-year-old Central High School student Jason White has been identified among 2 people whose decomposing bodies were found in Seven Heights, Maypen, Clarendon. White is also known as MJ. The other victim is 19-year-old Lyndon Brown, Ayla Stickle. About 2:35 p.m. Friday, residents stumbled upon the decomposing bodies in bushes and summoned the police. One of the bodies had a red handkerchief around the neck and was clad in black merino, orange and black shorts, and a pair of brown Clarks. The second body was clad in a blue and white t-shirt, blonde sleeveless jacket, jeans, and a pair of green sneakers. Anyone with information on this matter is asked to contact the Maypen Police at 876-986-2208. Uncle charged with murder of teen nephew. 22-year-old Courtney Hanniford of Marriott Housing Scheme in Coffsville, Clarendon, has been charged with the murder of his teenage nephew. 13-year-old Omarion Hanniford was at home on Sunday, March 27, when his uncle allegedly used a ratchet knife to stab him in the neck. Omarion reportedly ran from the house and collapsed in the yard. He was pronounced dead on arrival at the hospital. The elder Hanniford was taken into custody and was later charged on Thursday, March 31. 17-year-old Rihanna Howell missing. 17-year-old Rihanna Howell, student of Greater Portmore St. Catherine, has been reported missing since Friday, April 1. She is of dark complexion, slim build, sports a natural hairstyle, and is about 4 feet 5 inches tall. Reports from the Portmore police are that Howell left home for school and has not been heard from since. She was last dressed in a golden blouse, burgundy skirt, black socks, and black shoes. Anyone knowing Rihanna's whereabouts is being asked to contact the Portmore Police at 876-989-0623, Police 119 emergency number, or the nearest police station. Will Smith resigns from Film Academy over Chris Rock slap. Will Smith resigned Friday from the Motion Picture Academy for his Oscars night slap of Chris Rock and said he would accept any further punishment the organization imposed. Smith, in a statement released Friday afternoon, said he will fully accept any and all the consequences for my conduct. My actions at the 94th Academic Awards presentation were shocking, painful, and inexcusable. Film Academy President David Rubin said Smith's resignation was accepted. We will continue to move forward with our disciplinary proceedings against Mr. Smith for violations of the academic standards of conduct in advance of our next scheduled board meeting on April 18. I betrayed the trust of the Academy. I deprived other nominees and winners of the opportunity to celebrate and be celebrated for their extraordinary work, his statement said. I am heartbroken. I want to put the focus back on those who deserve attention for their achievements and allow the Academy to get back to its incredible work it has been doing, support creativity and artistry in film. Change takes time, and I am committed to doing the work to ensure that I never again allow violence to overtake reason, Smith concluded in this statement. The resignation came 2 days after the academic's leader board met to initiate disciplinary proceedings against Smith for a violation against the group's standard of conduct. On Sunday, Smith strode from his front row Dolby Theatre seat onto the stage and smacked Rock, who had made a joke at the expense of Smith's wife Jada. Moments later, he went on to win the Best Actor award for his role in King Richard. Rock, who was about to present Oscar for Best Documentary, declined to file charges when asked by the police. He has only briefly addressed the attack publicly, saying at one comedy concert in Boston this week that he was still kind of processing what happened. Smith shocked the theater crowd and viewers at home when he took to the stage after Rock joked, "Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane too. Can't wait to see it." Jada Smith, who suffers from hair loss condition based on the illness, had a closely shaved head similar to that of Demi Moore in the original movie. CARICOM split on Jamaica's nomination for a post of Commonwealth Secretary General. Antigua and Barbuda has described as a monumental error the decision by Jamaica to announce the nomination of its Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Minister, Kamina Johnson-Simitt, for the post of Commonwealth Secretary General. Antigua Prime Minister told the Caribbean Media Corporation (CMC) that Jamaica was party to a recent Caribbean Community CARICOM census endorsing the re-election of Patricia Scotland for the position, adding, "I think Jamaica's proposed candidature for Commonwealth Secretary General is a monumental error which could only serve to divide the Caribbean." Dominica's Prime Minister has not yet commented on Jamaica's position, which was announced late on Friday night. Scotland is a Dominican-born national, whom Skerrit had again backed for re-election. At the end of their intersessional summit held in Belize last month, CARICOM leaders issued their communique in which they expressed their overwhelming support for the re-election of Baroness Patricia Scotland as Secretary General of the Commonwealth. Scotland was elected to the post at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Malta in 2015, and her election is scheduled to take place during the June 20 to 25 Commonwealth Summit in Rwanda. Scotland is the second General Secretary of the Caribbean and the first woman to hold the post. In its statements announcing that Johnson-Simitt would be seeking to replace Scotland, the Office of the Prime Minister in Jamaica described her as eminently qualified for the post, and that she has held several crucial leadership posts both regionally and internationally. Her qualification for the post of Secretary General, including her high moral character, diplomatic and political acumen, proven competency, and commitment to the work of the Commonwealth, make her an excellent candidate, this statement continued. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, in supporting his senior minister for the position, said she will bring a wealth of experience to the position and is committed to international public service with special regard for sustainable development, gender and the issues of small states, which will contribute significantly to her work in the organization towards 2.5 billion citizens of the Commonwealth. Johnson-Simitt has served as president of the OACP's Council of Ministers, chair of CARIFORUM and the CARICOM Council on Trade and Economic Development, and has represented Jamaica at numerous bilateral, regional, hemispheric and international encounters. She was also the first Jamaican foreign minister to be invited to G7 and G20 ministerial meetings. Jamaica is currently the African, Caribbean and Pacific coordinator within the World Trade Organization, a role headed by Johnson-Simitt, the state noted. Butch Brown, the first CARICOM leader to respond to the nomination, said that as an integrated movement, the reliability of our decisions should be preserved to keep our region united and strong. Our consensus decision should never be broken without overwhelming cause that will not undermine the unity of our integration movement or violate the treaty provisions. He said it now appears that having failed to get the separate regions of Africa, Asia and the Pacific to successfully field a candidate, those who seek to divide and rule are encouraging Jamaica to present a candidate in opposition to the current Secretary General who is serving on a CARICOM rotation. The issue of Baroness Scotland's nomination nationality is now moot-pointed. The reality is she was born in Dominica with Antigua and Barbuda lineage. She is a Caribbean. She is a member of our CARICOM family, deserving of the respect, solidarity, and protection against those who seek to vilify and immaculate her. I would have argued previously that the maneuvering to replace Scotland risks diving the Commonwealth. We now risk dividing CARICOM, Brown said, adding, Scotland's performance as Secretary General is comparable to many of her predecessors, yet she is being hounded out of office. Those who are hounding Scotland out of office have now skillfully engineered a plan to divide CARICOM and to stain the performance of the region. We must not fall prey to these tactics. Despite the pledges to support, there is some level of naivety from Jamaica to believe that the success of its candidature will be assured. To the contrary, it would only serve as a gateway for a non-CARICOM Secretary General to succeed, Brown said, adding, Jamaica should not fall for the mirage by exposing one of the finest daughters to this trap. Replacing Scotland would ultimately shorten CARICOM's second term and divide our region. We should continue to maintain the principle of rotation, which would see Africa assuming the office of Secretary General in 2024 when the Caribbean term comes to an end, followed in turn by the Pacific, Brown added. Late last year, Prime Minister Brown warned the 54-member Commonwealth that it risks being divided over the re-election of Scotland. Our Commonwealth family has, under now, held the tradition of at least 2 terms for a Secretary General, and to the principle of rotation between regions, Prime Minister Brown wrote in a September 14, 2021 letter addressed to all Commonwealth heads of state and government. The Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister, who were also then serving the CARICOM Secretary General, said it now appears that the separate regions of Africa, Asia and the Pacific has been or is being encouraged to present candidates in opposition to the current Secretary General. This runs counter to the principle of rotation, which would see Africa assuming the office of Secretary General in 2024, when the Caribbean term would normally come to an end, followed in turn by the Pacific, said Brown in the letter, a copy of which have been obtained by the CMC. In his letter, Brown reiterated the 15-member CARICOM group in support for Scotland to be given another term in office. Kenya's president is reported to have written regional leaders seeking their support for a new candidate being proposed by Kenya. Kenyatta had nominated his Cabinet Secretary for Defense, Monica Juma, for the post. Media reports in Britain said that United Kingdom Foreign and Commonwealth Secretary had met with Kenya's Foreign Minister last year to discuss Juma's bid. Juma is being offering himself as a consensus-building candidate with Scotland, also facing opposition for a second term with Britain's Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who is the current chair in office for the Commonwealth, indicating in 2020 that he hoped the heads of government can instead agree just to extend Scotland's contract temporarily until they meet. Fire will not disrupt operations, says Wesinco manager. A fire at the Wesinco plant in Lake Spence, St. Catherine Friday evening is not expected to disrupt operations at the company. According to head of operations at Wesinco, Craig Clear, the fire was at a pallet repair yard on the compound, which prevented any major damage to the main building on the premises, including head office and the manufacturing plant. We are at present moments unaware of how the fire started. The fire happened in a pallet repair yard. So far, we have no casualties to report. A minor loss of some property. We have lost 2 of the contractor trucks, 2 of the 10-ton trucks, and we have lost about 50 pallets, but the rest of it was garbage that was ignited into the fire. We don't expect any disruption of service, and we would love to thank God for the good fortune, and we are very grateful that no one was injured. Claire credited the Spanish Town Fire Station for responding to the emergency call quickly. He stated that the water facility that was built on the complex after the 2016 fire also assisted in ensuring that major damage was not done. I would like to take the opportunity to big up the Spanish Town Fire Brigade. They did an outstanding job. They were on the scene within minutes of us reporting the incident, and they were able to refill here. We had great access to water, and we had a much better containment of the fire than the previous fire in 2016. So I think a lot of times the fire brigade gets a bad rap, and they did a fantastic job. Very brave men and women out there fighting it, he said, while cooling down operation was still in progress. Meanwhile, District Officer Public Relations of JFB, Kerry Gale Forbes, said the fire was brought under control quickly, with the work done by 5 units from Spanish Town, Portmore and Maypen. At about 6:40, we received a call that there was a fire at the Wesinco property, and when we responded, we recognized that the fire was confined to the truck yard. There were 2 trucks that were on fire and 2 containers, Forbes reported. We managed to extinguish the blaze and get it under control real quickly. The container didn't have anything in them. The trucks were empty. It was a very quick response from the Spanish Town Fire Station, along with Portmore. We also got some help from Maypen Fire Station with a water tanner, so we had 3 trucks and 2 tankers, Forbes said. There was a major fire at the facility in 2016. The refurbished building was reopened in 2017. Please remember, to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.